Welcome to Nugget 112 with Steve Groman. We were talking about trees and planting trees in cities and how they're doing all these simulations on how it could possibly make things worse and the whole global warming, environmental worldview slant. And we've got a little bit older article that we want to talk about today.
Yeah, this article is from 2014. Scientific American put it out. So just to let people know, this is nothing new. I mean, this has been going on for many years, the same mindset and the same understanding. The title of the article is Trees That Pollute, and it says, some greenery makes smog levels worse. That's backwards from what everything we've been taught.
The next time you walk past a poplar or a black gum tree on a busy city street, think twice before taking a long, deep breath. Although these trees produce oxygen, they also release compounds that can react in the air to create lung-damaging ozone.
Oh boy. It is kind of a surprise, says Galina Chirkina. Well, wait a minute. A senior fellow at the Institute of Advanced Sustainability Studies in Germany. But wait a second. Why is it a surprise? Because I've known about this and been talking about this for 20 plus years.
And this is the same lady that we were talking about in the previous nugget. She studies urban tree emissions. So as I stated in the last nugget, this is her job. This is her career.
Yes.
So she needs to just keep this whole topic going up and down. She probably doesn't really care which way it goes as long as she can be in the highlight.
Perhaps. When certain trees dominate a street, they can raise the ozone level considerably. At ground level, ozone is an oxygen molecule that is linked to asthma and bronchitis and other respiratory illnesses.
Like vehicles and power plants, trees emit airborne chemicals called volatile organic compounds, which in the presence of sunlight react with nitrogen oxides in vehicle fumes to form ozone, one of the components in smog that makes it a health threat. And that's what they're saying, is that these compounds that these trees emit, they're combining with emissions of the vehicles and creating what's really the problem. And that's how they're connecting it. What they're saying basically is, we don't need to get rid of the trees, we need to get rid of the cars.
VOCs come out of the tailpipes and smokestacks as a byproduct of burning fossil fuels. Okay, there's the blame for us. But look at the next part.
And wait, that's a dig on fossil fuels.
Exactly.
I mean, it's also political.
Right. But look what it says. The trees emit them in part to repel insects and to attract pollinators. Naturally, the same stuff is being formed, and there are a whole lot more trees on this earth than there are cars. I'm not saying people should, what's the word? Polluters of the atmosphere and all that kind of thing. We should be respectful and responsible, and God put us in dominion over everything, and we're supposed to tend this earth. That's what He put us here for. This earth is put here for our purpose and to be inhabited, the Bible says. When nature produces the same types of things that they say, that the evolutionists claim that we are destroying the earth with, well then how do they know that there's a certain percentage that is a car and a certain percentage that the tree's doing itself? There's so many studies that are just slanted to suit that particular bias of that particular scientist.
Well, obviously, God made these trees to emit these chemicals because they do need to repel insects and they do need to attract pollinators. It's part of their process.
Does this mean cities should start cutting down the top emitters? No. Okay, well, wait a minute. If the top emitters don't need to be removed, then why do the cars need to be removed?
Why is she even talking about the trees polluting if...
Right.
No, we don't need to cut down the trees.
Even the worst offenders are not a concern if they are scattered on a city street. Okay.
Really? So she is going to tell us how far apart we can plant trees. Isn't that nice?
I guess.
And then she goes on to tell which trees are best and all that. As the article ends with the whole worldview issue that we've been talking about, there is another solution. Reduce car emissions and cities won't have to worry about the trees.
Right.
That's the bottom line. They want to control our
if
cars
get
and
rid
our
of
fossil
cows
fuels.
And
right.
Cars and energy and everything else, and we'll all live happily ever after.
And again, in the previous nugget, we mentioned Frederick Law Olmsted, and we did go to his home in Massachusetts. We like to always plug in a little bit of history. He lived between 1822 and 1903, and he's recognized as the founder of American landscape architecture and the nation's foremost park maker. He would probably be really upset about this. He's dedicated his life, and people have followed in his footsteps into making these beautiful green places. The site there, his home, where we went and visited, it preserves the home and office of America's leading landscape architect and park maker. The Olmsted legacy embraces 5,000 public and private landscapes, including Central Park and the United States Capitol grounds. These two are considered a vital part of our national heritage. He was also one of the leaders of an organization to protect and preserve Niagara Falls. And if you haven't been to Niagara Falls, I recommend you go there. It's an amazing place to see. And the park is absolutely fabulous. Most people don't care or even know that it was this one gentleman that was the kingpin on designing all these over a century ago.
We enjoy walking arboretums and botanical gardens, and we enjoy the landscape. We enjoy seeing all this stuff. It is beautiful, and we've walked tons of these things.
I got to tell you, I don't think when we walk by a tree to take a deep breath, as she mentioned in that previous
We just
article.
appreciate the beauty of what God created. There's nothing wrong with taking care of things and protecting things. I don't want people to misunderstand. We're not saying to tear things up. By the same token, we should take care of things, but yet we should still not be in fear that we're going to ruin them because we drive a car down the road.
We've all heard about these trees and the plants emitting too much of these things to create issues, and we just wanted to examine these articles and show you the, I guess, just ridiculous nature of what they're really saying.
Right.
All right. Well, thank you.